Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of IndieTention. As always, my name's Kaizer. We'll be checking out Roadwarden again. The reason why I said again is because we initially did a stream for Roadwarden. Unfortunately, I did not even realize that the game did not capture, or at least it was capturing like static screens and not the full text that you'll see up till the halfway point of the stream. So about 30 to 40 minutes after I was through, then I realized what was happening. So I'm just gonna redo the earlier parts of Roadwarden up till the point that I realized something was up, then somehow managed to capture the game properly. But for this one, I couldn't get it to work like I did halfway point of yesterday, so I'm gonna play it in window mode, so you're gonna see the black bars, unfortunately. But at least it will be captured consistently. So without further ado, let's redo Roadwarden. It's developed a game by Moral Anxiety Studio and published by Assemble Entertainment. Came out on Steam on 12 September 2022. According to the Steam store page, it reads, Roadwarden is an illustrated text-based RPG that uses isometric pixel art and combines mechanics borrowed from RPGs, visual novels, adventure games, and interactive fiction. It's mainly a text-based game, a visual novel, so to speak, with RPG elements to it. So what you see, I'll be seeing here in this playthrough up to a certain point. I'll play until that point, then I will join in with the bit that we played on earlier yesterday. So I'm gonna the video is gonna consist of probably 30 to 40 minutes, and then I'm gonna combine it with the previous recordings, just so we can have a consistent story and I don't have to redo the whole hour plus of Roadwarden that we played earlier. Hour plus, or probably an hour or so. Alright, so let's jump into the world of Roadwarden. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept the struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young or retire early. It is a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. I leave the safety of the city walls. Let's stick with the same one, be standard. We have a 40-day limit, regular rules set. For those who are familiar with RPGs, the wall is standing still, there are no wolves around, no stench of blood, good signs. It should be the place you're looking for. You're supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and peddlers, but not beast folk nor trolls, and the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It had a long day. I need to look around cautiously. Considering the noise, you doubt that anyone noticed the clatter of hooves. The short dry grasses barely cover the arid soil of this valley, but you are maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it is the only route north. I dismount and sneak to the gate. Let's peek inside. Take care of yourself. If you are hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher the chance you'll die in combat. Your heavy boots hit the ground and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your backs and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. So because of that, we minus our vitality, aka health, for a bit due to the long ride, and we dismounted our animal and decided to give it a walk. Give ourselves a walk rather than ride it to the gate. I approach the gate slowly. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space, the fire pit is cold. Two people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They are looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. I could just look for another shelter, or they don't look much of a threat. I can enter. He takes a few breaths breaths to glance in your direction. The first one greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs on at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. I take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gabardine, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are wary yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these two surely look the part. Though there should be more of them, ain't you believe? I let them speak first. It is nice to see an unharmed traveler in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful. The bearded man's voice is strong yet timid. You'll be staying the night with us, I guess. We are soldiers, he and I, adds the armored woman. A moment switches from half asleep to relax. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe, but if you were to take the first watch, it would be a huge help. Travelers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? You think for a moment to fully rest, you need a good sleep. Since they trust us to take first watch, let's be more assuring to them so that we'll take turns to do the watch. Sure, leave it to me. Fantastic. She rubs her hands together. I don't remember the last time I had more than half a night of sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest. Just wake us up if anything happens. The man flashes you a white smile. It's easy to wake us up. Just yell. He drinks from his mug. I ask them about their lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of their attitudes. We have friendly, a playful manner, distant, intimidating, vulnerable. Since they are quite friendly, so to speak, let's answer in a friendly manner. I was hoping to meet your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? The woman lets out a loud sigh, that's off her gabardine, and steps towards you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can. You and I, though, holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking for help? I'm your new Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. Really? Soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got here in one piece, all by yourself. Better bring your beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. A long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. Maybe a trap. I gesture her to stop. Pretending to be embarrassed, I should watch for myself first. But you can call me. Let's be upfront with her and shake her hand. I'm not Leto. Our name itself. Her grasp is confident. The shake is slight. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. There's this one issue. The soldier in the shed also rises to his feet. We've no tent to spare. You'll have to use blanket or something. Let's reply with, I should get used to sleeping on the ground. No problem. I enjoy observing the stars. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragonwood from the conquest in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your power needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. I don't care. Let's comfort our only companion. It's my only companion. I want it to feel at ease. It takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals and even pets as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom, but you know that horses need companionship. I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack. You haven't brought that many things and you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Worst of all, you have no rope left. But maybe the soldiers could share one. It shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions essential for your trade. So here we pick our class, so to speak. Can be a fighter. I spend my savings on decent combat equipment. I have fine garrison, an axe made of steel, and a reliable crossbow with quarrels. Or we can be a mage. I have a talisman that help me use my powers, as well as an iron axe and a worn garrison. Or we can be a scholar. I carry writing instruments and alchemical ingredients, as well as an iron axe, a worn garrison, and a healing potion. I want to learn more about the 3 classes. As a fighter, you'll have an easier time in physical challenges thanks to your superior equipment and hidden bonuses during dice rolls. You'll be physically capable than the other classes, what opens unique opportunities during some social interactions. It's the best class for RPG beginners. The fighter's weakness is their reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available to you if your vitality drops to 0. The mage uses Pneuma, a versatile but limited pool of energy points that can be spent to cast a few humble spells. Magic won't protect you better than the sharp axe, but as a mage, you'll be able to heal faster while resting, detect magic in a mysterious area, distract a beast with a simple trick, and find a common tongue with other magic users. Using the mage's powers too freely will result in having no Pneuma left when you need it the most. Or as a scholar, well, just you hear the sirens in the background earlier on, I had to mute myself very quickly. The scholar will know more about the world's mysteries than you, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. Your character will impress the locals with its knowledge, and you'll be able to read the sparse written clues without anyone's assistance. Scholars struggle with combat more than the other classes, but with enough carefulness and exploration, you'll gain access to alchemical mixtures that will help you escape from many dangerous situations. Let's pick the mage. It feels like it's in the middle. We're not too good with the sword, but we're not too good with, I guess, survival. But we are good with magic. So we can heal ourselves, so no worries with that. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here in case you take a... Oh, apologies for that. Open your inventory to see your possessions. You take a look at your wooden bowl and mark your cape. Within the box, bandages, food rations, a knife, nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. Let's see, we have 2 supplies of food rations, 5 coins in our pouch, our Gibson, magical amulets, travel set, and a simple battle axe. Okay, let's not overwrite the other game save. So go on to page 3. Okay. Taking hits will damage your armor. You can then fix it in various settlements. So our armor is 2 out of 4. Because it's in, I believe it's 1 Gibson. Yeah, something like that. Not the new one, unlike the fighter. I return to the soldiers. They are at the table again, observing your beasts and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. I join them and take a look at the meal. I thank them for the meal, but I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she can tell me about this area. I completely ignore the meal. Let's not be rude, since we are in it together, so to speak, for tonight at least. I join them and take a look at the meal. It's cold gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, some strange looking cereals and blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, Even a humble one is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment, different responsibilities, different lifestyle. Like how we try to be as equal as them, but the game reminds us that we are actually different. Keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality. While resting, you can find your supplies in the inventory. Okay, so we are halfway to starving or feeling full. I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, then speak with Tulia. She focused on and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like to and less than I should. She nods toward the other soldier. As you can see, there are not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, 1 has run away in tears. We are also strangers in these lands, adds a companion. Any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leans forward, his legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom, his untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I share what I consider to be relevant, or what I've discussed with the officials shouldn't stay between me and them. Let's be open with them. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you receive since this area is too far away from Hovleven to keep it under control. You were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests? From time to time, the people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses or find what they are looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. The lieutenant drinks from a cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Where should we start? Let's ask her first. Anything I should know about this camp? Story is brief. Some merchants built a camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys. Just between the inn and the southern villages, there's plenty of grass here and excuse me, and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. You can sleep here wherever you want, the man concludes their tale. Though you don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. Let's ask what happened to just Squad. The man shrugs. Bandits happen, and monsters. A strong band though. His companion seems in. When we got to the peninsula in spring, we saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. The bait, the soldier coughs and crosses his arms, but she carries on. If he had decided otherwise, we would all have died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap, that the armed ones pretend to be soldiers, stay there at night, lose everything you have. Sounds like slave hunters. Tulia sighs. Very much so. They killed some and took others away. Who knows where? They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked, adds the soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why three of our people died. Don't exaggerate. It's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over the camp, but we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered and they had an ice mage among them. She looks at you. At least we cleared the roads. At least we cleared the road, saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well? Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader, and they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a treant, another ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt, so a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough, didn't tell us he had cut out his hand while cleaning his garrison. She lets out a ghastly chuckle. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. Let's tell them you made the place safer. Barely. Tulia seems tired, and who knows if it was worth their lives and effort. Let's ask them, any ideas what happened to the previous Roadwarden? Tulia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. The soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirmed that he had stopped by their camp and a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with his tips of his knife without looking at you. I don't remember his voice. Always busy drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud meal, clean clothes, write notes on that wax tablet of his. Yep. And leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asteria never gets bored. Tulia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but somehow the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you are not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in the basement. The man carves with passion. We haven't seen him or his Saurion. Something ate them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Which road wardens often use four-legged meat-eating Saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching. But unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Do you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message? Neither of us had any insights into his dealings, says Tulia. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterian's stuff. Wait. She raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Hovleven. I was planning to take all these things there. A pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some portions. Quite a treasure. She glances at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about your father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of a sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. We are meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us and tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Hovleven together. You think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Hovleven in the early fall anyway. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt he'll spare you anything. And who knows, you may find his shell lying in the roadside tomorrow. He wears a mail, uses a spear mostly, maybe 5 feet tall but stout. Long red beard, short hair, pale face, rarely smiles. She glances at her companion. After he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out her legs. So find out what happened to him, dead or alive, just let me know. Since we don't have a rope, let's ask for them whether they have one. I've lost my rope. Could you spare me one? You're in luck. She heads towards one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down on a chair. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind. I take a closer look. A fine rope. Regular rope made of hemp fibers. So we don't have to buy it from her since she's gonna give us anyway. You know what? Let's not waste our food. Tulia nods. For now, you leave the rope on the table. Let's ask what was your squad's mission. Lieutenant looks into your eyes. You know, the usual, making the road safer, keeping people alive. I explained it may be important for me to know what they have tried to accomplish. Can't really tell you. Let's just say it would be nice to have a reliable outpost somewhere nearby. A place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. She tilts her head back now. If you have any other questions... What should I know about the peninsula? I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long do you take to get from here, from the city? On a decent pathway, I guess it would be 3-4 days. When you confirm, she continues. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? No ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Hovelevent officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages, collect taxes and move soldiers, collect lumber and deliver tools, but maintaining order on a wild coast such as this one is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we traveled to the roadside inn, Health of the North, they are happy to trade and happy to play dice. The man clears his throat. I mean, you know, we got this road, this camp is our outpost, and well, he turns to Astulia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, but are you a devout soul? So here we choose our sort of religious beliefs, or religious placement, or what do you call it? Like most city folks, I believe most people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic, until everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. I'm part of the United Church. For many years, I've supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. I follow the teachings of Order of Truth. I am from a small village. For me, the freedom of shell, pneuma, and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I have a place in my fellowship. I have a strong connection to nature, spirits, and follow the path of my ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. They probably call me a pagan. But there's no evidence of the right's existence, and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No, I'm not. That's aligned with an Order of Truth. Oh, I see. She hesitantly looks away. I don't know much about that river of faith, but I'm sure we are not that different. I'm a Unite myself, she said with a sort of pride in her voice. So she follows the United Church. Maybe just explain what you were thinking of. People here are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her finger. The traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials here. She starts to draw lines with her index finger as if she's pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think so. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. You know it, she means a fellowship. They do crazy shit, her companion chips in. They use dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there. I see. You've heard tales such as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors of humankind. Were you able to speak to these necromancers? You can see why we were not eager to go there if we could avoid it, the lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to Roadwarden. The roads are dangerous with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shed turns a bit and points his finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you will get to an inn first, and soon. Julia nods. Belt of the North is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeep or the guards. Ask them about the road. And how about east? She stares off across the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. Any monsters worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mouth? We saw all sorts of beasts. The man starts to count on his fingers. Goblins, treants, cats, large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spike boars, mouflon eaters, griffins, but we managed to stay away. Some could catch up with most mounts. Julia glances at her companion. Though a powerful should be fine, the trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There's not many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight for more food than territory. Soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. That's all I need to know. So if you were me, where would you go next? The soldier answers quickly. To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug in the northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Julia. Other hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Any tips on how I can make a good first impression on him? She smirks. Avoid cheap jokes, stick to trade, don't waste his time, show him that you can be relied on. Finally, let's ask Julia, how did you become a lieutenant? That's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there's a strict order of, what should I call it? She exchanges looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. Roadwarden chief selects commanders, those select lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. So you were his successor? Nah, not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him but failed to protect either of them from spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant, she pauses. Jumping like that to save a man in the middle of an attack doesn't sound like a wise decision. I agree, but so what? He's dead. I doubt he's going to learn much from schooling. And you were the third in line, is that right? Basically, yeah, she says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become leader though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. It's getting late. You should prepare for the night. I agree. Julia sighs with relief, and may you do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant, she winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. Open the archive to reread the most recent text. Sweet. Okay, let's save it up. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face. What makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath after the night? It will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. I prepare for my watch. The soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you. Just observe the area, there's plenty of griffins around. Though they won't try to jump over the palisade, probably. Better watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can find. And there's this one really loud were elk that keeps smelling the wall, although he has never tried to get in. He points at the gate. The lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They are quite heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. If someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them a rope instead. He scratches his head. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. The watchtower? He gives you a long puzzle loop. Oh, here. He points at the pile of crates. Just climb up to the tallest one. You'll get a great view of the north side, the more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. He points at the tent on the other side of the camp. I can handle a couple of hours sleeping on the ground if you wish. Go there after me and rest, just this once. At least I have a pallet inside. I smile. Thanks a lot. You put your blanket on the tallest crate and sit down. The night is warm. Sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time your back aches. You force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, the three-horned deers try to challenge one another. Before they clash their antlers, a two-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. The furry beasts try to intimidate the predators with broad and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk a fight, nor to admit their defeat. I don't let it distract me. I keep looking around. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a grey hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with a lynx, making playful screeches. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel like you've had enough, you climb down and go to the tent, waking up the beard man with just a couple of words. You confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bag as pillow, put a blanket on the pallet and cover myself with cloak. Sleeping in the tent is not stuff of dreams, but it's a much welcome rest. The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your widening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula, learn the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with relevant officials and traders. Could the tribe resist the soldiers or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? At least I have time, 40 days to be exact. I need to be as thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Hovleven. Then you report back to your employees and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. Gather some extra coins so I can help a person I care about. I need to gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. Get enough connections among the local leaders. I'll use them to become a major player in the Merchant Guild. I want to remember as the soul who brought peace, order in this realm, a hero. Just want to help people, make this region safer for the locals and newcomers alike. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past. I like this too. Let's try this one. Be modest a little bit. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious. Though the pleasant, humid, lit summer air evens out slowly, you're thinking about your goal. Can't travel during the night, press the sleep button to rest. Alright. But you need to gather your strength. And all I can do is rest. What is this? Okay. Oh, you only have 3 out of 5. Stand out much from the crowd. You won't get much cleaner without a proper bath. Alright, so we have 3 active quests. Sleeping in the tent. You spend the night in a borrowed tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the wind and rain. And the ground won't be painfully hot or cool. Take a look at your amulets. For most people, they would be nothing more than trash, but you wouldn't sell them for a pouch of dragon bones. Use them to shape a new pneuma to your will. With these little mementos, a few spells you're familiar with are far more reliable. Who knows, maybe there's already some power held in them. Take a look at the old, though clean bandages that remember dozens of herbal balms and wounds. You put them on your hurting muscle, bruises and scratches. Then hum an old song about time, which either heals all wounds or kills us too soon to let us bother with our problems. After a few hours or so, the linen will warm up, confirming it did its job. Then may not be much, but your spell would make you feel as good as new, though you'd lose some of your energy. I don't need to restore my immune tonight. I perform the ritual. I'd rather keep my soul stronger than my shell. You are woken up by sunlight, well rested and ready. Without haste, you gather your things. After only a couple of breaths, you notice a weird smell, like roast. No burning meat, burning rotten meat. Disgust crawls into your consciousness. You exit the tent. Your horse is looking around nervously. Your bags are where you had left them. You see an open gate. I go outside to see what's happening. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shed looks at it contemplatively. Tulia is the first to address you. She greets you with a nod. We use the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see a corpse among flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to male or female, but it wasn't an adult. The burning process won't be over for a couple more hours. A traveler or an undead? The latter, a young one. She lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stab her with a spear from a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog and she'll be a real threat. Even now, it took a couple of hits to knock her down. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours. At each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice, it is a necessity. Soldiers, priests, village mayors, even road wardens making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Tulia calls this undead as she. Most unites hesitate to do so. Time for me to leave. Running away from Rike, I don't blame you. She walks with you for a few steps. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened to Asterion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell marked in a number of song and tales, but yet you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. You wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. She returns to the pyre. I prepare myself for the journey. You somehow miss the fact that your mount is already saddled and warmed up. You double check the equipment, but you don't need to fix anything. The soldiers were diligent. Normally, preparing any palfrey for a long journey takes a lot of time. Use travel button to see the map and move to an area. Sweet. Put on your gabardine and make sure that your axe is tightly attached to your belt. Then you get in the saddle. The palfrey knickers ready to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads from north from here. Let's save first. And check out travel. Travel forward to continue your journey. Once you're done with the north, speak with Tulia and return to Ovloven. Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breeze lures your mount forward, but the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches and gurgles coming further down the path. You soon find a pack of four-legged griffins. They are larger than foxes and merge the features of birds and furred beasts. Each one is of a different size, coat and colors. and their temperaments are just as varied. Their fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while their rears have darker fur. Their wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. About 24 beasts are yelling, brawling, and chasing each other around, blocking a path. I consider my options. You can't enter the forest blindly. If these or other creatures were to chase after you, the ticket would be disastrous for your horse. There are reasons why travelers stay close to the main roads as possible and why adventurers move in groups. Usually the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up to a couple of hours. You're thinking about your conversation with Tulia, you've got a lot to do, and time may be of the essence. The dice icon marks the actions that involve a random chance. If you have enough Pneuma, you can cast spells to access unique interactions. We do, since we charge it overnight. Let's try this. I grab my amulet and shape a missile of light. Harmless flare will frighten them off. It costs 1 Pneuma. You grab one of your oldest amulets, a pendant made of leather, and a single dim pearl. The little sphere is covered in cryptic engravings, but if there's any special meaning behind them, you were never able to find out what it could have been. You can learn more about your abilities in the character sheet. Holding the pearl between your fingers, you feel the pleasant, familiar warmth. The spell you are about to cast is not much more than a mere illusion, but you take a couple of breaths, trying to minimize any risk of failure. The pneuma leaves your shell, formed into a white ball that you barely comprehend. When it falls next to the griffins for a couple of blinks, it emits a dazzling light. The animals squeak and snarl, fleeing in multiple directions at once. The road is now clear. So we have a healing ritual for spells. Sweet. Oh my god, it's quite detailed. Sweet. All the info about us. I ride forward and enjoy the touch of my pendant. It cools down slowly. A new adventure achievement unlocked. Keep track of achievements as journey unfolds. The road splits. According to what the soldiers have told you, you may find it safe by turning left. The forest to the right is lush and the trail overgrown. Kids used to have this song. How did it go? The harshest pathways leads to the dragon's lair. Those who search for treasure, do you truly dare? Signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation much clearer. It was put here by someone who can't write, for folks who can't read. Covered in old red paint, it points east. Blood there, as people say. Danger to be found. There's not a soul to ask for guidance. I look at my horse. What shall be my horse's name? No, I have no idea what should I name you. Thinking of something cool, but then I thought that maybe I want something cute so that I'd be attached to it, but then I'm afraid that sooner or later I might lose it. Think I got a name. Efron. It's peaceful as you stroke its mane. Maybe it can't help you choose a path, but you spend many years together, happy to go on. It takes a couple of steps forward, you spot a few berry shrubs and wild cabbages, but they still need at least 2 weeks to gain maturity. Time to make a turn. Okay, let's pick left since the inn. Run trots with ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the beaten road. The birds' songs and distant howls draw your attention to the forest, which gets sparser and brighter. You spot boars, roe deer, and saurians. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you, but once you push your hip forward, your palfrey enters a canter. The beasts don't even begin to pursue. Speed alone will protect you from many dangers. You notice a stone tower taller than trees. It must be the inn I've heard about. Inns like this one fit the regions traveled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place like of this size in a forsaken peninsula. The stone and lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers guarded by expensive mercenaries surely live for many seasons in a primitive hamlet, subsisting on salted supplies. There are seemingly no cracks on the wall, and the building was so whitewashed only a few years back. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide, if not in the buildings, then at least in the yard. The expenses and labor put into this fortress were worth many trading ships. 3 armed people are on rampant, though you only see what's above their waistline. They are leaning on a parapet right next to the gate. You think you notice a glimpse of a smile. They wear gambeson, each one of them dyed differently, yellow, green, and linen grey. I approach the gate. A woman in yellow armor leans forward. She has a long, curly, orderly red hair, pointing in every possible direction. This combination of colors doesn't work at all. In the woods, one would have to shout to draw this much attention. There's still a fair distance between the two of you as she speaks loudly. I hadn't seen a horse for years now. I just said that it's weird to see such a large jackass, huh? Her voice is young and strong with an accent that reminds you of the villagers spread around Ovleven. But no jackass would wear a saddle, I'd say. She exchanged a few words with the male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer. Well, this one here says they really are donkey on saddles. Say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse? Let's reply with a playful joke. You wouldn't believe it, the lessons were a pain. You get off the horse and imitate the silly walk from the day that followed your first long journey. Your whole shell almost crying. You illustrate the pain as you move your hand from back of your hips, then thighs. In return, the guards tell you about the time when they had to carry their friend with bitten off legs for 3 days straight through the hearts of the woods. Meanwhile, the other guards open the gate. You may be in a good mood, the woman in yellow jacket smiles at you, but don't get too noisy when you talk to our boss. The man never smiles. He has the words suffering sculpted on his face. She leads you under the roof which your palfrey can rest, tethered with a cord to a wooden post, and near some old hay. Once you're ready, go inside. Speak with our boss. Maybe you're hungry? The other guards take care of various chores. They pick at your mouth every now and then as they are splitting firewood, cleaning their clothes, weeding the garden patches, and moving chairs. 2 of them are making a rope. You head towards the inn, hearing the piercing scream of a boar from the other side of the yard. Alright folks, with that, before we enter the inn, it brings us to the end for this episode and stream for IndieTention, where we took a look at Roadwarden, a game that's developed by Moral Anxiety Studio and published by Assemble Entertainment. Came out to Steam on 12 September 2022. Go to the Steam store page. The price is currently on sale, 10% off until 20th September. Let me share with you the link to the Steam store page. Okay, it's currently retailing for, after 10% discount, for euros it's a 989 euros, 989 US dollars, 746 pounds, 13.95 Australian dollars, and lastly 9.90 for Singapore. With that said, my name is Kaizer. This has been Roadwarden and IndieTention. For more Roadwarden IndieTention, you can find it on the channel. If you enjoyed this episode, consider leaving a like and a subscribe. If you're watching this on Twitch, hitting that follow button will help me a great deal a lot. I appreciate it. Until the very next episode of Either Or, guys, take care and I'll see you then. Peace out.